This time, I'm making something that isn't functional at all, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. That's a problem. I got a little story to tell you, but don't tell anybody. It's a secret. To preface the story, I started a garden this year. The reason I started the garden was to offset my food costs to make YouTubing easier. My garden did alright, but I didn't get that much produce. And that's important to this story, because I know why. You see, the problem with gardening is mostly the gnomes. And this is a true story. Now, I don't know exact dates, but I'm pretty sure for hundreds, if not thousands of years now, garden gnomes have been screwing it up for everybody. And I know how to stop them. So since there's no natural remedy for gnomes, we need something unnatural, like a garden defender. But while I start building this thing, we need to talk about why gnomes are doing what they're doing. What's their motivation? Well, it used to be that gnomes were trying to take over the world. The humans took control of the surface, and the gnomes went underground. But now they come back up and steal produce and turn it magically into gold down inside the ground so that they can amass a fortune and try to take over the earth. But nobody really knows anymore because the stories are so old whether that's actually what's going on or not. They might just be greedy now and just want to hoard all their magical gold in the ground. Alright, got my body. I know this all sounds super ridiculous, but this has been going on for so long. It kind of has been a story that's dropped into legend and then the legend faded from memory, so nobody really knows about this anymore. But right now is the exact time that you need to start building these things, and I do too, to stop these gnomes so that we can eat the produce from our gardens and they can stop accumulating wealth. Now, I am by no means an expert on welding, but it would be completely unfair for me to do this video without teaching you how to weld. At least a crash course in welding to try to give you an idea of what I'm doing. First things first, you need to get your welder set up via these knobs to where it's supposed to be for you to weld stuff. To know what to make the settings, you open the side panel on the side of your welder, and it has all the information that you need to know about what you're welding and what you're welding with and how to set everything up. So you look at your wire gauge on your spool and you check that out over here on the side, and then you figure out what gas you've got, and you set it up based on the size of metal that you have, and then you set your settings and you weld stuff. Here's your gas bottle. That's how much pressure's in the tank. That's how much is coming out. You adjust that to where you want it for how much shielding gas you put out around your weld spot. Then you just take the thing that you're going to weld to, you put your ground clamp on so that it's grounded. Now you hold your thing you're going to weld to it, and you put this up to it, and that wire is where the arc's going to form, and it's going to melt the metal together. And you pull that trigger right there, and it starts the gas flowing out around the tip, and the wire feeds out of the tip, and the tip of the wire melts the two pieces of metal together as it feeds out and fills in the gaps. This is MIG welding. It's super easy. You can't screw it up. You just set it up and you do it, and you just make sure that it's stuck together. And you can get really good with this and make it pretty, but I don't really worry about that when I do this stuff because I'm just trying to stick the metal together, you know? Oh, and wear gloves and a mask and a respirator if you want to, and put something over the top of your head so that you don't burn your hair off, and put little melty holes in your scalp, and make sure your clothing doesn't catch on fire because this stuff is really hot. I forgot to turn the camera on when I welded his head on. I just welded it though. Same thing I've been doing. I think this looks a little bit plain right now, so I'm gonna try to fancy it up. I painted the gnome too. Forgot about that. Oh, I forgot that part. Just remember, if you go to build one of these things, you've got to make this garden defender look as gruesome and brutal as possible so that the gnomes are scared of it. Not that he has to kill less of them, because they like killing them, but it'll just help out if it's really awesome looking, because then it's cool for you to look at. So keep that in mind, and make it wicked cool and dangerous and sharp and pointy. Just don't cut yourself on it, because you might get tetanus, you know? That'd be bad. Yeah. Time to install the gnome. There we go. I'll put the weapon in. Now I gotta get the fingers situated. Wizard, what do you see as you twist your tiles beneath? you like this project and you don't have a welder to make your own, you're in luck, because I'm selling this one on eBay to try to help fund my channel. I'll put a link in the description to it, and if you don't want to find that, then you can just search on eBay King of the Garden Defenders and you'll find this. Just keep in mind that it's over 2 feet tall, it weighs almost 20 pounds, it's about a foot wide, and it's sharp, and it's rusty, and it's pointy, and it's dangerous. So make sure you actually want something like this before you go bid on it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Back from the dead.
Ladies and gentlemen,